Hey Nick,
Hey Wyatt.
how you doing, buddy?
I'm okay. How's it going?
Not too bad. I was just reading an article earlier today. Obviously, we're both big into food stuff, so I thought this would be something that interested you.
Okay.
But scientists have discovered that you could actually turn soup into jewelry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently all you need to do is add 24 carats.
Oh.
Yeah, well, maybe we don't have it yet. We don't have it yet. Oh, hey everybody. I didn't see you there. Welcome. This is another episode of We Don't Have It Yet. My name is Wyatt, and as always, I'm here with my buddy Nick. Hi, Nick.
Hi. That was very toned down and somewhat monotone, measured. We'll call it a measured intro versus my completely over the top thing last week. So good job.
Well, I figured we can see what works, what doesn't work, and I just feel like today you can't really see behind me. Obviously, anyone listening can't see behind me, period. But we have the first rain that I have seen in over 2 weeks now, so it's feeling like kind of a calm afternoon.
Oh yeah, it was pissing it down this morning here.
Yeah, I'm supposed to
I
I'm
have a
supposed to get
very
rain for the next 3 days, I think.
yeah. It's my dog. No matter how much you use the towel and rub, it still smell like a wet dog, and
Oh
there's
yeah.
not really anything you can do about it for the rest of
Nope.
the day. Uh,
Nope.
Short of breaking out the
That's
leaf blower, I don't know what else to do.
that's the one thing I'm not going to look forward to over the next few days is Fife getting all nice and wet dog stinky.
Yeah, well, the nice part is he also lays on the bathroom tile because it's nice and cool. So you got like wet, moist dog, and it just I think he can actually create his own tile mildew. And
Ooh. Everyone right now who is enjoying their breakfast or lunch as they
if
listen to this,
if you weren't enthused about this show already,
let's see Nick and Wyatt disgust you as fast
yeah,
as possible.
let's keep that downtrend going.
So we got a few things to talk about today. I went to a fun little multicultural food festival this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know you watched a couple spooky movies. You do your little spooky season. You can kind of talk about and what that encompasses, which is
Yeah,
pretty self-explanatory.
I think
But
so.
then we can talk about our assignments from last week, where I had to play McPixel 3, and you had to watch at least a few episodes of Mystic Quest.
Which I did.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at this. The accountability buddies are really just killing it.
It's working. I'll have more to say as we get there, but yeah, so far so good, buddy. Yeah, so I
So
wanted to hear more about this food festival that you went to because I saw pics and I'm like, ooh, I want that, I want that, and I want that, and looks like you went for it. So what was that? And yummy.
yeah, so again, for anyone that doesn't know, or a reminder for people that do know, I live in the cultural hotbed of central New Hampshire, which is very well known for being a diverse area. We have French Canadians, and we have yeah. So no, but so Concord, New Hampshire, every year they do what is called the Multicultural Festival, which Concord, Manchester, there is diversity in New Hampshire. It's not nearly as much as most of the country, obviously, but we do have people from around the world that live in the area, and what this is just a celebration of people and where they're from. It's really kind of awesome to see different cultures and stuff come together. I usually go for the food because, that's what I love, and I
What we
love,
do. Yeah.
yeah, I love trying food from different cultures. But there's a giant stage. It's held in this park in Concord, Keach Park in Concord, which actually is right across the street from the pinball club. And I was really hoping we could pull some more members in from
Ah,
there,
there
but
you go.
I feel like no one was really prepared for that. But
Should have had an open
yeah,
house or something.
I know. Next year we're gonna have to plan it a little bit better.
Yeah.
But so when you first walk in, there is I think they have flags from 70 countries or so, and it's people from the area. So every country that is represented has a flag at the event, which is really cool just to see, just people from all around the world. And
Yeah,
it's
that you don't
amazing.
know are
Yeah,
necessarily members of your neighborhood kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so you walk through that, and it's more or less a giant um market, more or less. So half of it is, people that are selling things,
Yeah.
either traditional things from, their country, stuff that they've made, things like that. There's also just vendors that come, a lot, like New Hampshire Housing. There's a few just like nonprofits that come to just make their presence known.
There's usually
And
those type of things usually have like a couple really sad looking MLM people and like a guy that's there selling windows and gutters, and you have to like wonder. I think he wonders too how he ended up there, what went wrong.
pulled the short end of the stick.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm here at the brewery festival trying to sell windows and gutters. Yeah, that kind of thing. I may be way off. I'm just joking around.
No, you're pretty right for most of that stuff, but I don't, of course, I wouldn't really have been paying attention to them if they were there, but off the top of my head, I don't remember those, like Tupperware salespeople or, any of the common people that you see. Yes, I don't remember seeing any of that, but on one side of the fields, it was, excuse me, it was just all food vendors, which was awesome from all over. I mean, of course, if I was smart and prepared, I would have had the list of the vendors in front of me, and I could have told you the different countries. So I'm going to multitask.
You ate African food. You definitely ate South American food. I saw.
Yeah, I ate some Nepalese food. I ate. Oh God. I ate a lot of food. I'm trying to stall as I'm pulling up the vendor list.
No, I mean
here.
stuff like that is cool because it's like the best way a lot of times to share your culture with people who might not be familiar is through food. I mean that was basically, I think that was Bourdain's pretty much total mantra. Yep. That's half the reason that I've done any world travel that I've done has been at least partially food motivated.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's kind of the kind of tourism that I do. People, oh, you're going to see the famous such and such? Nah, we're going to go to the place where they make the dumplings. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, so now that I finally have it up, so we got some Indonesian food. I got some Colombian food. I got some Mexican food. I had 2 or 3 horchatas, which is like my favorite drink ever, which I could easily make myself, but I feel like it makes it more special when I just wait, a year.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where you and I are apart, man. I can't do the horchata.
No?
I used to, when I lived in San Diego, we would go to the farmers markets there, and they always had at least one booth doing like the fresh juices and also horchata. But I could definitely go for all the huegas frescas. But the horchata, I'm not a big drinking milk guy, and I don't particularly love cinnamon. So here we are, I guess.
I'm going to say that's probably a fair reason that you
it's kind of, it's chunky. It's a little chunky.
It can be. It's like the rice.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the rice that settles. If it's not stirred up well enough, then you'll get... Yeah, it'll be like a rice boba, I guess. You could.
Yeah, so like boba's not something I typically seek out either.
I don't like boba personally.
I don't mind tapioca pearls. They're kind of something and nothing to me. But yeah, solids coming through a straw will never not be weird to me. Nothing against the horchata lovers like you and probably most of the rest of the planet, but it's just not one that blows my skirt up for whatever reason.
Yeah, so I had, like I said, I had some horchata. I had pork tamale.
Yes.
I had...
It looks like you had a deep fried empanada and like a baked traditional empanada.
I did. Yep, I had 2 different kinds of empanadas. I had... I cannot remember what the Indonesian food I had. It was a chicken satay with like a noodle dish with fresh...
it was just vegetables. Like the skewers of chicken grilled with the peanut sauce on top kind of thing over and like some stir-fried noodles. Yeah, that looked good as hell.
Yes, that was really good. I got a Nepalese dish or snack that I'm not sure what it was because it wasn't what I had asked for, and I realized after like there was a big language barrier, which is totally fine, but I'm also the type of person that avoids any confrontation, so I'm like, yeah, I'll have this. Sure. So it was a play. They were selling. They had two bags that basically one said spicy chips and one said non-spicy chips, and they just looked like these multicolored, not even really chips. They kind of looked like rigatoni almost. I'm not sure what it was, but it had spices mixed into it, and it looked like it
Yeah.
was something that was tossed with whatever. And so I was like, oh yeah. So I went up and I said, oh, I personally would love to get the spicy chips. I said, but my girlfriend isn't a huge fan of spicy, so I'll just take
Sure.
the non-spicy ones. She was like, oh, okay. And then she started making some dish, and I'm like, well,
Okay.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
let's just see
I'm
where
just
this
gonna go with
goes.
this. Yep, I'm
Yeah, it
exactly the
just
same way. I'm not gonna tell you to stop, and I'm not gonna tell you to waste food at your little stall. Whatever it is on me. As far as I'm concerned, you go ahead and
yep.
do what you do, and I'll take what you give me. I could never do anything else, and I think
No.
we are very of the exact same brain in that regard. Yeah.
So she started tossing this together, and most of it looked amazing.
Hmm.
And if it wasn't for one thing, I would have absolutely loved it. So what it was is it was like puffed rice, like actual, it looked like grains of rice, but just like little puffed rice.
Sure.
It
Yeah.
was like uncooked ramen noodles, that kind of noodle. It was lemon juice, some different spices, some type of little of a spicy like powder. She definitely put some MSG in it because I saw her do that. I'm like, oh hell yeah, I know this is gonna be good. Uh, some fresh carrots, fresh cucumber,
This just
fresh
sounds like an
jalapeno.
awesome like salad almost.
Yeah, and this we probably differ here too, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But there was also heaps and heaps of fresh cilantro, and
Oh yeah.
I have that weird defect where cilantro tastes like soap to me.
Yep. You
So
are one of the part of the 11%, huh?
yeah, so I'm watching her. I'm like, because up until that point, I'm like, oh hell yeah, like this is gonna
Yeah.
be so good. And then I see the cilantro go in, and I'm like, uh whatever. So, so she put it all together. I paid her for it, and I tried picking around the
Yeah.
cilantro, but there was
It
no going around
permeates.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I ate most of it because again, I'm like, I'm not gonna one, I don't want to waste my money, and two,
Yeah.
like you made this for me. So it was if it wasn't for the cilantro taste, like it was really really good.
But if I dumped dish soap all over something that I thought looked really good, I'd probably be
Yeah.
like, yeah, it could have been good if not for the dish soap that I dumped all over it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So the nice thing about this whole event is there are few like restaurant vendors that were there, but it really for the most part was just people that wanted to share their cultural food.
I love that, and it's very similar to actually something that they did at my son's elementary school because we're Chicagoland is at least
Yes.
around here a total melting pot, and he has. I mean, his classes are just every end of the earth that you could imagine, kind of thing. So they had like a multicultural fest
That's
last month at
awesome.
his school, and it was all just like parents and the kids bringing this is their Polish dish, Korean dish, Japanese dish, on and on and on and on. Obviously, a huge Eastern European population, but I mean, just anywhere you could think of, pretty much was represented, and a lot of really good munchies and stuff too. And like you said, it wasn't professionals. Like it wasn't
Nope.
like a local Korean restaurant or the such and such restaurant, of which we have plenty, kind of thing. It was just people and their pride to want to feed you this thing that they love so much, and I love that.
Yeah, it was really cool getting to talk to some of them, and it's really a cool thing that I believe it's the Capitol Center, which is our local like theater where I'm going to be going
Hmm.
this weekend to see a show to make you jealous, saying I go to all these shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a second smaller stage, and within that, they kind of have. Well, they don't kind of have. They have a commercial kitchen, and what they
Mhm.
did is they rented this. Well, they didn't even rent. They donated the
Opened up the
space to
space,
all of
yeah.
yes to all these people to be able to make their food in a commercial setting so they could then sell it to the public. And I wish I had known about like the volunteering sooner because they were looking for volunteers from the area that just wanted to come in and donate like a 2 hour
Oh
shift to
yeah.
help vegetables or to help do XYZ. And I think next year, that's going to be something that I definitely want to toss myself into because how cool is that to be able to learn how to make dishes from, a different
That's what I was
culture,
gonna say. You get
help
a
them out and do it.
free
Like,
cooking class there, essentially.
yeah, so it was a lot of fun. I think overall I spent probably 50 to 6, I think $60 is what I spent for two of
For
us,
the amount
which
of food that I saw you
yes,
walking away with, yeah, they weren't
wasn't
squeezing
bad at
anybody.
all.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you're
no,
not.
it was, I think I had 7 or 8 dishes. The the Brazilian the Brigadeiro, which is like a soft fudge kind of. It
Oh, okay.
one of the you saw the picture, so it was the picture I'd sent you that is like the two little balls. There was a
Oh,
white
yeah,
one
yeah,
and there
yeah,
was
yeah,
a
yeah,
brown,
yeah.
yeah. So the white one was a coconut one, and then the brown one obviously was a chocolate one, and those things were so damn
They were
good.
like, are they
Like
like kind of like truffles a little bit, or
a little bit. It's literally
yeah,
just like a tiny ball of soft
fudge?
fudge. Yeah,
All right.
and I bought some of those and then came back and I'm like, I'm gonna buy some more. And they're like, okay. And then,
Yeah.
like everyone's just so happy. And it was kind of funny. Like I always, I say always, this is my second year going. I had heard about it last year. And last year, the same thing. I went up to, the Mexican horchata booth and I didn't get there towards the end, which towards the end, these people are just trying to get rid of everything because they're not restaurants. They're not anything.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Anything's waste. Yeah.
yes, I really regret not taking more advantage of it last year because I remember going up to the Mexican booth and they had
Stuff left over.
probably
Yeah.
like 20 tamales, and the person was like, "Oh, if you give me like $10, like you can have all of it." And I should have just said yes, but like we're not going to go through the tamales that quickly. But
Yeah.
so when I went up and I got the horchata, and then I had that, and I really enjoyed it, obviously. And then I'm like, you know what? I need to have another one. So I went up and bought one and I told him like, oh, I'm like, this stuff's so great. I look forward to it every year. I was kind of chatting with the woman there
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, oh, she's like, please come back. Like, please come back, as much as you want, as many times as you can. And it didn't seem like just a nicety. It was almost like no one was coming up to their booth and they didn't seem that busy, which was wild to me because I love tamales. I love horchata. They also had like a
Yeah.
blueberry lemonade. They had Mexican candy. Like they had a bunch of good stuff. So I was starting to feel kind of bad. I'm like, why is no one going? And then almost maybe 5 minutes after I went there, I looked over and they had a line that was probably the longest line there.
Dude, those events are so weird like that. Like I've noticed that at farmers markets everywhere is that you can 1 second see someone that's empty and be like, oh, I kind of feel bad for them. And it's like the wind shifts and all of a sudden everybody's in line. And I think it's just like once people see other people
Yes.
waiting for something, they want to
It
get
must be good.
behind it. Yeah, exactly. So if some people see a line forming or a longer line already, they're just like, oh, I'll just get into it because clearly they're offering something awesome. So,
As someone that used to sell stuff at farmers markets and
right,
different
exactly.
markets, yeah, I can, yeah, there would be times I'd be sitting there trying to sling my cookies and brownies, and it's like, cool, no one's here, twiddling my thumbs, and literally, like I said, like 30 seconds later, someone comes up and we'll kind of talk a little bit, and then I look up and there's like 12 people online. I'm like, what is going on?
Other people looking over that first person's shoulder be like, oh, what do we
Exactly.
got going on here? Oh, okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Which, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm still at the honeymoon period of closing my business where I'm like, this was a good idea.
Exhale, yeah.
It's because you know what? If I didn't close that business, I don't think we'd be doing this right now because I absolutely would not have the time to dedicate to any of it, let alone the recording. I wouldn't have time to play games or watch TV. Like, I missed so much stuff the
Yeah.
last 4 or 5 years that it's wild.
Well, I won't jump out and say that I think this is necessarily a better thing for you to be doing, at least not at this juncture. But yeah, I'm happy that it's still, well, like you said, a honeymoon period kind of thing. You mentioned the cilantro thing got me thinking. Is that like your only one of those foods that it just kind of shuts the dish down if it's included?
Yeah, honestly, I can't
Mine,
really think of anything else.
yeah, I was just trying to think if I had any others, but I don't really think I do. Raw tomato is the one for me.
Oof.
Cook it, stew it, do anything with it, anything. Even if it's just like salsa lime juice type of cooking, like as long as it's cooked, I love tomatoes. Raw tomato is the most disgusting thing on the planet. And if it touches my salad, the salad is ruined. If it touches my sandwich, the sandwich is ruined. I don't care that I can take it off. No, the tomato juice has infected the bread, has infected the turkey. I can taste the remnants. Its slime has gotten all over everything. It's revolting. absolutely disgusting. And I can't do it. I just like, I remember when I was a kid, my dad actually offered me all the money in his wallet, which I later found out to be nothing. Um, if I could just eat a tomato like an apple, and it like made me physically ill. So I don't know what it is, or if there is a percentage of people that my tomato taste is different than yours. I don't know, but everybody's like, "Oh, the summertime, you get a fresh tomato, and you, oh, just some sprinkle of salt on it, and it like, yeah, it gives me the willies."
Yeah, I can't say I don't 100% agree with that outlook, but I'm not the like, well, I'm not the big, I wouldn't eat a tomato on its own.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Caitlin, we grow, I shouldn't say we, she grows pounds and pounds, 20, 30 pounds of tomatoes. We have so many tomatoes in our kitchen.
Oh,
So like,
I grow tomatoes. I have cherry tomatoes upstairs on my cutting board right now that I just harvested off a plant, but they're not going to be raw on anything, I assure you.
yeah, well, we put them on salad and stuff, and I don't mind like a handful cut up on my salad, mixed with other stuff. But a lot of people will with cherry tomatoes. You just pop them in your mouth, like, oh, it's just a little treat. I'm like, I don't enjoy them enough to just pop some tomatoes into my mouth.
No, like the cherries, I'll eat the cherries right off our cherry tree, no problem whatsoever. But yeah, tomatoes can't do it. Cannot.
Yeah, I got a buddy of mine that has an aversion to maple syrup, which is wild growing up and living in New Hampshire. But I've asked him many times.
What happened?
Well, apparently there is the same thing with with cilantro. There's a select group of there's a group of people that maple syrup just tastes terrible. He says, and I've asked him many times how he knows what it tastes like. But he says that maple syrup tastes like piss when he has it, and I'm like, all right, man.
We don't have to go further into that. Yeah, you just be like, okay, then, fair enough.
Yeah, and Greg, if you're listening to this episode, yes, I am talking about you.
I can't help but ask then, like, I would imagine you being where you are have a lot more access to fresh maple syrup, but even the stuff that's labeled real maple syrup, I think a lot of times is still just, sugar juice or whatever kind of thing. I mean, does he enjoy fake pancake syrup is what I'm getting at, I suppose.
It's a great question. I would assume that he does use it with it. I haven't asked, but I do know it's literally like real maple. It has
to be the real thing, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's whatever, something in it is just doesn't mix with his taste. But yeah, like fake table syrup, I eat like maple flavored stuff.
Yeah,
I guess it would depend on what
you get at IHOP or something,
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably
not
fine.
Real maple syrup. Yeah,
we'll have to bring Greg on for the 5-minute maple review one of these weeks, and he can give us a full rundown of that. But hopping over to you every year. I guess it probably starts in the middle of September or so. You do your spooky season movie watch, and so that has started recently, right?
Yeah. So not really a whole story to tell, but I'm middle-aged and married and have a young kid, and I've lived a hell of a life up until having a kid, and Friday and Saturday nights are not very active these days. So it's basically my wife and I trade off movie picks every Friday and Saturday kind of thing, because that's just generally what we do, is just watch a movie. But always usually something new. And so for the entirety of September and October, we watch nothing but horror, or at least horror like adjacent movies. So speaking of like horror adjacent, I think your suggestion on Saturday that I went with was Hell Comes to Frogtown with Roddy Piper, and just one of the most fun times I've had at the movies in a while. Is it horror? Not really, but I was more than happy to have included it. So you could tell people more about that movie maybe, and I could tell you what I thought. But yeah, I watched Hell Comes to Frogtown, and the other one that we watched was The Stuff.
Yeah, I know nothing about that one.
I might have to give you that one as an assignment at some point, because it's basically a killer ice cream movie.
Okay, you have my attention.
Yeah, that's what it is. So it's not ice cream, but it's like A new dessert hits the market and it sweeps the nation, but it's evil and it will attack you and eat you. And yeah, I mean, it's everything that you want from a terrible movie made in 1984. It's just great. So I don't know where we're gonna go from here. There's a few must watches that are repeats every year during scary season. Have to get a viewing of The Thing in at some point. The original, or not the original, but the Kurt Russell version anyway.
Yep.
That's a must watch. That has to happen every year, and I don't know where it started. But for whatever reason, we watch House of a Thousand Corpses on Halloween night and have for like the last 10 years or something weird. So that'll definitely be happening. I'm totally up for any new recommendations outside of our little assignment thing, but you've seen my library. I still have plenty more to get through, but always looking for new stuff, and the schlockier the better generally.
Yeah, so I think that's great. If anyone, any of our, there's dozens of them, listeners, have any suggestions? Yeah,
Dozens!
There are literally dozens of us. Yeah, I think if anyone has any suggestions, Nick.
Oh yeah, what are your favorites of the season? What do you have ones that you always watch?
The Evil Dead trilogy.
Okay.
Which, funny enough, tomorrow we are. So actually, I have two shows this week that I'm going to. Tomorrow we are going to see the original Evil Dead played with a live band. So the live band's going to be doing the score, which is going to be awesome. Last year we saw Labyrinth with a live band, which was also awesome.
Yeah,
not a Labyrinth fan.
I'm a huge Labyrinth fan. Oh. My dog is named Bowie, for God's sakes, because my son and I were watching Labyrinth at the time. It's probably easily my favorite movie as a kid. I could go on for days about Labyrinth, so I'm extremely jealous. And the soundtrack happens to just be... It was a jealous sigh. Completely incredible. Everybody loves it. Everybody talks about Magic Dance, but now I'm going to totally slip on the name. What are the red guys called? Jimmy down with the fun game. With the fun game. That's the song that sticks in my head, but apparently blanks out of it when I have to talk about it.
That's usually how things work.
Chili down.
Yes.
Yeah. So before I totally interrupted your train of thought with my love for Labyrinth, what were you saying?
No, I was just talking about.
Oh right,
you had asked me
live band. Yeah.
Yeah. So last year it was Labyrinth. This year they're doing Evil Dead. Evil Dead in concert is what it's called, which is
like an orchestra or. Like
I wouldn't say it's not like a. Yeah, I'm not sure how many there are going to be for Labyrinth. I think there were 12 or 13 musicians on stage, so I would guess probably somewhere around that. Mm-hmm. It's not a full orchestra, but it's enough that it's really kind of cool to hear the soundtrack played in something like Evil Dead with such just like a panicked, I guess I would say, backing tracks, I guess, is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, Evil Dead didn't really even have that much of a soundtrack.
Not really. It's just a lot of just a lot of like
plenty of that. I think about Jack Black in High Fidelity a lot, talking about Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
I don't know if you know that. It's so funny and violent, and the soundtrack kicks ass, and yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Well, not to get too far off track, but
I think Evil Dead is very much still on the subject. But go right ahead.
That's fair. So, probably 7 or 8 years ago now, there was a touring production of Evil Dead the musical, which was amazing. So Caitlin and I went to that, and it was probably it was either around this time or it was in October. It was obviously around Halloween, but I had to make sure I spent the extra money to get front row seats, which was considered the quote unquote splatter zone.
So I like where this is going.
Yeah, so Evil Dead the musical was basically an amalgamation of Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, because for people that don't know, Evil Dead 2 is more or less a remake of the original Evil Dead. It's just more, you think of Evil Dead, like this campy, weird stuff. But the original Evil Dead was, I believe, a college project for Sam Raimi.
Yep, I'm literally reading "If Chins Could Kill" by Bruce Campbell right now. I'm
Yeah.
in the middle of that book, and he goes through all the stuff between him and Raimi coming up, and the Super 8 fixtures, and then they got into 35 millimeter, and yeah, the original Evil Dead was basically made on 0 budget.
Yes. And so Evil Dead 2, obviously, like, it's the studio version of Evil Dead, but where Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell get to be a little more slapstick and, off the rails, which Evil Dead 2 is my favorite. And I think a lot of people would say Evil Dead 2, compared from 1 and 2, depending on what you're looking for.
Evil Dead 2 is my favorite, period. Yeah. I like it over Army of Darkness, too.
Army of Darkness is probably my favorite, even though that's a whole thing, and maybe we could do a whole, retrospective on it, how it's called Army of Darkness, only because Sam Raimi lost the rights to be able to call it Evil Dead, so that's why
I didn't even know that. There you go.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's kind of wild. But yeah, so the play Evil Dead the Musical was just like a mixture of Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. And at the end, there's just a big scene where, all the killing happens. And as all the killing's happening, they just sprayed blood into the audience. And I made sure we both wore like white shirts and stuff. And I don't think I have them anymore. And I'm pretty sure it was just like Tide that was dyed red. Obviously, because they don't want to make it be that's going to, ruin everything, let alone your clothes, but the theater. But so it was just like, we were just drenched from like head to toe in this fake blood, and it was a blast.
That sounds like going to a Guar show and being in the pit. It's great.
It was very much like that.
Yeah. I've lost a couple t-shirts to Guar shows that you knew were never going to be right again.
Yeah, you need to make sure that it's something that you don't necessarily want.
No, yeah, you're not. Don't bring your best linens.
But I think your original question was, what are the spooky things that I want?
Oh yeah, like going back. Yeah, I don't know if you have like go-tos, or if it's weird because we're not even into October yet, but there's a lot of ground to be covered. So I don't know if you have yearly watches or anything like I do, because I'm weird.
No, I mean, They Live. I watch probably once a year. The other Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Which, despite knowing all kind of the references and being familiar with the extended fight scene and and the concept and the satire, I never actually saw They Live until last year.
Really?
I never actually sat down and watched the whole thing.
What did you think of it?
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And it goes back to my point that Keith David is in everything. And
should be 5 degrees or 6 degrees of separation from Keith David at this point. Yeah. At least in your life, especially with the son.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, he does a lot of voice work now, right?
A lot of voice work, yeah.
Hey, if you can get the work, why not take it? He's got the voice.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but I'd say Evil Dead is just something that I watch about once a year around this time. Other than that, They Live, and there really aren't any other like spooky movies that I'll rewatch. There are movies I rewatch yearly, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily like...
I do have a spooky one for you, and I'm not going to assign this to you, but it bears discussing.
Is this extra
the
credit?
Conversation. Yeah, let's call it extra credit. You can get to it whenever over the next month and a half. But it is a spooky documentary called Bump in the Night, or Things That Go Bump in the Night, the spooky pinball doc.
Oh yeah, I'm already sold.
So it's basically has very little to do with actually being spooky, and just is how this guy started an entire pinball company, basically, from a garage love to a full company, and how quickly they kind of came on the scene. Yep. So it is a really neat story, and it's going all the way back to 2017. So obviously they've grown significantly since then.
Yep.
But just in anybody who's ever thought like, I love this and God, I could make my own or something like that, I think it's both a cautionary tale, and on the opposite side, like, hey, you can do it if you actually believe in yourself and have the drive and the vision. But I think with pinball especially, better have one hell of a lot of drive.
Yeah, that's not something that you can just half-ass your way into.
No, I mean, you see what some of these homebrew tables look like, and the hundreds of hours that these people have put them into, and yeah, imagine doing that at production scale without any facilities
Yep.
whatsoever. Without, it's not like they went to Stern and say, "Can you contract make this for us" or anything. So yeah, that let's call that a side assignment. I think you'd really enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of homebrew pinball, I don't think we talked about it. We've talked about it with each other, but I don't think we talked about it on the podcast. But
Hmm.
I think a couple weeks ago, I showed you that Who Shot Mr. Burns Simpsons
Oh
homebrew
yeah, that was
pinball.
cool.
That thing looks so cool. I'm kind of hoping, not that I'm going to be able to make it, but the guy did say he's making his rounds with it to like the different expos, and I'm really hoping it makes it out towards you, and maybe you can get a chance to.
I mean, it'd be hard to imagine somebody shopping a design around that wouldn't bring it to Pin Expo, right? So let's hope, because all the big boys are going to be there. Obviously, I'm really excited for that's coming up soon. God,
That's a
um,
couple weeks, isn't it?
yeah. Talking about homebrew stuff, you see some of the coolest stuff there, man. Last year we saw the Tony Hawk Pro
I
Skater
was literally
table.
just going to ask you if you
Yeah.
had got to see that
Well,
one.
so that wasn't even in the homebrew area, and I was kind of running in and out, barely on the floor last year at all because of the tournament stuff I was doing. But I thought it was actually like a new machine. That's how well it was done, and like how finished it kind of looked.
Yeah.
And it was just there as, I can't remember the company name. Forgive me. Such and such pinball presents Tony Hawk, and it was like, oh wow. Um, I just hope to hell somebody figures out the licensing to be able to make that work, because it was the coolest design. We'll try and find a link that we can include in the show notes of it
Yeah.
operating. But it was basically all built around the warehouse level of the
Yep.
first Tony Hawk game, and built in really really interesting stuff as far as like how you would go about collecting the letters like in the game, or getting trick points like in the game. And yeah, kudos to people that can devote themselves to something like that and create it out of nothing, because I don't think I have it in me. And I was just blown away at what people can achieve in their basements or garages, man.
Yeah. Speaking of creating something out of nothing, it's a good transition to
Yes.
this past week. I think we had teased it or talked about it last week, but I am now running a weekly video game night at the Pinball Club.
Oh yeah, so I
And
guess your first night happened since we last recorded,
yeah, actually
right?
recorded last Tuesday and it was last Wednesday. So we
Oh,
didn't
there you
get,
go.
yeah. So every week now, I say every week, but for the next month and a half or so, it's every other week because somehow almost every plan I have is on a Wednesday night. So I'm not able to make it. But the idea is every week, myself or someone else that's able to host is going to be running a video game night at the. It's not even really the pinball club anymore because we have board games, we have video games, we have pinball machines, and we just took control of our Megacade that was delivered last week, which is
Oh, I want to talk about that too. Okay, so yeah.
yes, yep. So Wednesday nights, this first week, I wanted to do something that was more. I don't want to say more friendly, but like anyone would walk in and they'd recognize it and be like, "Oh, I want to play this."
Sure.
So I did a Mario Kart night, and we have 3 TVs up and running. So I did Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I did I did Mario Kart 64 rather on the CRT that I had donated because you're gonna play an old game, you gotta play it on a CRT. That's
Agreed. And what better place
non-negotiable.
for it where it's actually going to get enjoyed by people?
Yes, and I brought my Switch 2 with me and fired up Mario Kart World, which I figured people would enjoy because a lot of people bought the Switch 2, but there are a lot of people that also didn't buy a Switch 2 and might want to play the new Mario Kart. So I think we had spoken about this last time because you had said should give me some give me something for plugging them here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. I wasn't really expecting anything. I was going to be happy if 2 or 3 people showed up just to have some people to play video games with because
Yeah.
as I had talked to the people there, like we're at the age now, or we are at the age physically, and we are in the age around where like you don't do couch co-op anymore. You don't really do couch multiplayer. Everything's online, Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, Nintendo Switch
Yep.
online. You're sitting in a group chat or a party chat, voice chat, and it's not the same as being, next to a few people on a couple of couches and beanbag chairs, and fighting it out in Mario Kart. And
Yeah, it's not the same at all. And there are games that are very much suited more so to that group live experience. I think Mario Kart is certainly one, but we had talked about stuff like Killer Queen. It just it doesn't translate as well online on the Switch. It's not bad, but it's not the same as standing around a giant double arcade with a bunch of people screaming and yelling at each other and getting excited. And there's something special to that, and I do miss some of that. So I'm glad you're bringing it back.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like I said, I would have been happy if. Honestly, I would have been happy if one person showed up that just wanted to play video games and I could hang out and, play video games with them. But I ended up having, I think the most concurrent players I had were 9, which is wild. And I think like separate players, I think total I had 13 or 14 people, which is sweet. It was really cool. It was a pretty back event. Like I wasn't doing a tournament. I wasn't doing a bracket. It was just like, hey, let's just play. Because I had asked the people, and they were like, I just kind of want to play games. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's just do that. Going forward,
find people first, and then get into structured evenings, kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah.
The idea I'm probably thinking of is maybe once a month I'll do like a tournament type thing, and then the rest of it is going to be, let's play Overcooked, let's play whatever. And
Overcooked is, I think, probably a great example of one that's much better benefited at couch co-op.
I am super, super excited to run Overcooked because it's gonna create new friendships and create new enemies.
Oh yeah, that game destroys relationships. Are you kidding me?
You need to pick. Why aren't you chopping the tomato?
What the fuck are you doing?
But yeah, so that went really well. I'm not doing it this week because we're going to the Evil Dead thing tomorrow night. Nice. I'm actually not sure what the event. I'm not sure what game is being played tonight. I can't remember off the top of my head because I'm a terrible host. But if anyone that's listening is from the area and wants to come join us on Wednesday nights, it's from 6 to 10 at Capital Pinball Club over at 70 Pembroke Road in Concord, New Hampshire. Tell them Wyatt sent you if you show up.
Meet Wyatt.
Yeah, or don't, and just come show up, and I'd be fine if you didn't want to. Perfectly.
So I have to ask then, what did you find people gravitated towards the most as far as the Mario Karts on offer, or was it kind of just wherever anybody could get a seat kind of thing?
There were 5 people that wanted to play Mario Kart World, so I stack because I'd rather just I have more fun facilitating this stuff. Obviously I enjoy playing the games, but we had 5 people that wanted to play World, 4 people that wanted to play 8 Deluxe, and then there was a guy that came in. He's like, I haven't played a Mario Kart since Mario Kart 64. He's like, can I, does anyone want to play 64 with me? And like 2 or 3 of the other people playing the other games were like, yeah. And it was really cool to just see people just jump in and be like, oh yeah, you want to play a game? Yeah, let's play that game.
That's great. And plus you get those neat moments of seeing that guy that's like, oh, Mario 64, I haven't played this since I was a kid, and that was my game. Yeah,
he had a lot of fun with that. And then I think he actually played World first, and he's like, I haven't played a Mario Kart game in like 20 years. He's like, I'm really bad at this. And that's when he was like, I really want to play 64. Does anyone want to play 64 with me? And like I said, people were like, okay, yeah, sure. But yeah, to go from that, like you had said you wanted to hear about, we had a Megacade that was delivered last week, which was super cool. So it is an arcade system that has 4 players can play it at once. There are 2 players that have 8 buttons, 2 players on the end have 6 buttons. So I mean, usually the 8 buttons are
a full layout for everyone.
Yes, it's not a arcade 1-up type, you're shoulder to shoulder with people. Like you have your room there. There's also a 4-way gate controller with a couple buttons that are like up towards the top of the base. So if you wanted to play Pac-Man or something that uses, a 4-way gate as opposed to the 8-way.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that you had those dedicated. I did see those. That makes sense. That's really cool that they included that.
And then we also got some light guns that were attached to it. And that was what I was most excited about was, being able to play Area 51, Point Blank, Time Crisis,
Hell yeah.
House of the Dead. And it took a little while we had to get stuff figured out and set up, but once we got it set up, it was so cool.
Yeah, what's the deal with the Sinden light guns are the ones you got, right?
I believe those are the ones we got. Yeah.
Does it require like a Wii bar type sensor? I know some of them you have to place sensors around the screen.
Yeah, I think it has a Dolphin bar that is attached at the top. So when you plug them in, you have to calibrate them, which is basically just figuring out the four corners, and it goes from there. I got to use it for probably 20 minutes or so, and then I had to get rolling because it got delivered a little bit later than I was expecting. But I don't think it's 100% accurate, but to be perfectly honest with you, I don't remember how accurate. I mean, the arcade ones are going to be a little more accurate because usually they're based on CRTs, so you're basically, shooting that way instead of having the sensors or whatever. But I mean, it was close enough that I could see myself playing through all of the House of the Dead games and just having a blast.
Oh, I'm using Wiimotes, man, on my emulated stuff as light guns. So, good enough is definitely good enough. I'm just curious about, like, should I spend the money on the Sindens? I think maybe that will be coming at some point. But
I think it would be worth, if it's something that you think you would actually get use out of, and it wouldn't be like, I'll use this once and then I'm done with it. Like, if it's something that, I mean, I say that both of us are, we started this because we buy stuff and then use it and then, or don't use it and just put it aside. But no, I think it is compared to the Wiimote setup. Do you just have the Wiimote, or do you have the fun little like gun attachments?
I have the plastic, it's the Wiimote, it slots into a pistol shell, essentially.
Yeah, I think it would probably be worth it. I can't remember the price, and I know they're fairly expensive.
They're not cheap.
Yeah, they're fairly expensive, but I think, and there definitely is a little bit of setup that's involved with them, but we both do enough,
setup's
computer
fine
type
as long
projects.
as that is, once it's done kind of thing, and then it just works straight out of the box, that anybody else can walk up to it, turn it on, and hopefully be able to get right into playing kind of thing. That's all I'm concerned about.
Yeah. No, I think, maybe put it on the list for a Black Friday sale or, whatever type of sale. I think it would be definitely worth it. We played some 4-player X-Men, which that's
which
that's
when
you
have to, right? Yeah. You're going to that Simpsons or Turtles, you're gonna do it. It's
I told him, I'm like, oh man, I really wish we could have gone with, a 6-player cab for this, so we could have had but that's being,
that thing is huge. How big is the screen on that? Like
it's a 50-inch.
50, yeah. So that's
50-inch 4K, and then there's the marquee that's on top is an active marquee, and that's
you got the LED marquee too. So that's the coolest thing for people that haven't seen one of those. So when you actually go through the menu and are selecting games, and you stop on Miss Pac-Man, the marquee then is the marquee for Miss Pac-Man, and go down to Galaga, so on and so forth, across the board kind of thing. Yeah, I'm always interested in the presentation that they're able to put together in those packages, despite the questionable licensing and legality.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, speaking of questionable legality and video games, you watched Mystic Quest this week for our assignment.
I did. Yes.
How was that?
It's another one of those things where I knew that I probably would like it, but I never started it for whatever reason, and it's just kind of been sitting there. But happy that we have this podcast because you forced me to be accountable and watch it, and I did, and now it's very well done. I like that you can definitely tell Charlie Day's influence on it as an executive producer, I feel like. And it's not just the Mac show, and it's like just his side project away from, because it's not. So maybe that's why I was a little trepidatious at first, because I was just like, it's just the Mac project. And it's not at all. It's very original. Very well acted, great cast, and just kind of a cool look behind the curtain at that world, obviously done in a highly satirical way, but
Yep.
kind of showing off some of the things that probably are a little more ridiculous that occur just in the industry in general, just because it's so volatile and you know operates at such a quick pace. So the couple things that I really liked, I mentioned to you briefly. There was one early on episode with Jake, guy whose name I can't recall, from New
Jake Johnson.
Girl. Jake Johnson, thank you. And Christina Milioti, I think I'm saying her name
Yeah, I
correctly.
believe that's right.
And it was kind of like a one-off episode that showed how the game studio came to be, in so much as like the building and the offices that are now inhabited by the Mythic Quest people came to be as a different game studio. And I thought that was like really, really clever because it kind of showed kind of a Doom Wolfenstein era
Yep.
of game development, and then how their vision started and then was kind of taken over as more money and corporate interest got involved, kind of thing, and then how it kind of all fell apart, as these things kind of can happen or can do with studios, and morphed into something entirely new, which is totally volatile and up in the air. So it's not just a stupid comedy. There's actually like some pretty cool, I don't want to say peek behind the curtain because that's not accurate, but in the same way that Silicon Valley is pretty spot on satire,
Yep.
I think Mythic Quest nails a lot of real stuff probably from the industry as well.
Yeah, it touches on stuff like burnout. I
Oh
think one of the
yeah.
earlier episodes, they're trying to push through an update, and you
Well,
got
crunch,
coders
crunch.
that
Yeah.
just the crunch. Yeah, like it touches on all these things that you do see in the game industry. And yes, as you
Yeah.
said, it's a super satirical view at
Hmm.
it, but it's not so far removed from reality where you're like, oh yeah, no, this
Yeah.
stuff probably is happening.
Oh, and I love the yeah. I mean, obviously the single ego studio boss guy is
Yep.
someone that exists, or many people that exist really. But I loved the bringing in the kind of failed drunk sci-fi writer guy, just due to
F.
his
Murray
kind of
Abraham.
just due to his kind of put upon accent that's completely affectatious and just speaks in a very proper manner. So yeah, I think he lives at the office and walks around with a bottle of bourbon and just has a typewriter there to write all the backstory in the game. That was great. I mean, I could totally see something like that happening where one of these guys becomes independently wealthy and just hires some sci-fi writer that they knew as a kid because they loved their books back then. And even though it's a disaster, hey, it's this guy. Come on. Come on, people. It's this guy. Like, I loved all of that. So, yeah, I'd say I'd probably watch 6 or 7 ish. And I'll definitely finish it off. I think Mystic Quest was the show that you had said they didn't get a chance to send it off, and then they kind of gave them a chance to
Yep.
go back and give it a proper send off. Was that was
Yes.
this show?
It was 4 seasons, and it was supposed to be more. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the fourth season ended on a cliffhanger. I think not long after it aired, Apple said, "All right, we're done." But I don't know if it was a fan backlash or if it even just came from Rob Mack and team, but they were like, give us a chance to like redo this then if this is going to be the last episode. So Apple actually let them reshoot the final episode, and I'm not sure if they're both available on Apple TV. I don't know if they just replaced it or you can watch both versions of it, but it's kind of nice to see a studio let a show like rewrite their
Yeah, I mean, as
final.
much as it sucks to get canceled, like at least they probably gave them more than they would have gotten elsewhere if the numbers weren't there. Because God knows Netflix has no problem rug pulling shows after one season, kind of thing. So
I could do a top 10 list of like Netflix shows that I was super
wanted
excited
to keep
get
watching.
into.
Yeah,
That was
Manhunter.
Yep, that's one.
That was awesome.
God, names are escaping me now, but yes, there are plenty of them that I've seen that I've wanted to see more, or that have got like 2 seasons, and you're like, oh, cool, and then something like this is my cross to bear. Squid Game getting more seasons and me being like, that should have literally been one season. I enjoyed how it was. We don't need to, make
Well,
this more.
that's a two-sided coin because like on one end you want more of that thing that you loved, but on the other side you want them to just leave it alone because it dilutes the thing that you did love sometimes. And
Yeah.
like a lot of times studios, I would argue it happened with The Bear after they got awards attention after the second season. They said,
Yep.
we need more. We need more. Give us more. So they stretched one story out into 2 seasons, and it left a lot of people really pissed off at the show because there wasn't a natural arc in the third season whatsoever. And they basically pretended like it didn't happen in the fourth season. And
Yep.
yeah. So that's kind of like the other end of that, I suppose.
Yeah, so like the way I look at it is, and I could be, well, I don't think I'm wrong, but like Squid Game was written to be a mini series. Like
it was written to be a
yeah.
singular one thing, and
Yes.
the fact that they stretch it into 3 is taking the piss, in my opinion.
Yeah, but yeah, the other shows, like a Mystic Quest that still had the arc that was going and then just gets abruptly shut off. Like,
is it better off though? Because we're still here talking
Probably.
about it, and I'm happy to continue watching, the rest of what does exist versus like a show like The Office or Parks and Rec, where you're like,
Yep.
yeah, just don't watch
Scrubs.
past X season kind of thing because it just turns into a complete piece of shit.
Yeah, I do think I would rather err on the side of like Sports Night. Like I
Better
would
to
love
burn
if
out
there
than
was
to
more
fade
Sports
away.
Night. Yes.
Yeah.
If you happen to get your all the way through Mystic Quest at whatever point, there was also a spin-off series that was created. I think it was only like 6 episodes called Side Quest that you might want to check out. And that is basically Side Quest are they're self-contained episodes, I believe, that basically just goes into the lives of like, oh, this is an employee we saw in an episode or something, and now we're going to spend an episode seeing what game has done with their life or what they've been doing.
Yeah, the characters that are more in
like
the periphery kind of thing.
Yeah. It gives you their
were
side
they like
quests.
webisodes or was it another
Nope.
Apple TV show?
It was right on Apple TV.
Nice.
I think it was I think it was 4 episodes. Sorry, there were 4 episodes of it. But yeah, it basically was just like, oh, I'm curious as to what, this guy does. He's really weird in this episode, but we only see him for 5 minutes and then he gets, a 23-minute episode of like, this is what his life is like.
Yeah. I like that. Honestly.
Yeah. I think so. You do think you're going to probably watch more of it? It's not going to be...
I will. No,
Yeah.
it's exactly the type. I mean, it's digestible. It's like 22-minute,
Yep.
network length, sitcom length kind of thing, and perfect background show, honestly. So
Yes.
I'm
So
quite happy to just put it on.
that could be, I'm going to say, one of our successes then, because you told me before we started recording that the last game I assigned you, Bloodstains, that you did what with it recently after finishing your assignment?
I finished it.
You finished it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, we're here. We've landed. So you gave me a game. Since we switch off every week between who gets a movie and who gets a game, it allows the games to breathe for at least 2 weeks. So you're not just trying to jam it down as fast as you can. And Bloodstained Ritual of the Night was what you gave me 2 weeks ago. And I think that was almost a perfect length game for this type of format.
Yep.
I did like it very much. I thought it could have been a little longer, just in the main story parts. Not necessarily me having to find another section of the map and weirdly unlock it by draining the blood out of this and all those kinds of things that you either have to spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure out or just reading in a walkthrough. So there is a little less meat on the bone compared to something like Symphony of the Night, which, I mean, how do you compare to one of the best games of all time?
Right.
And we touched on this, I think, last week, but it certainly had a lot of fun heart in it, with stuff like the portraits and the people's cats and dogs being featured in the game and stuff like that. And I immediately went from that, it tells you that I really did enjoy it, and slotted in Curse of the Moon 2, which has also been in my backlog. So as soon as I finished with the one, went over to the other. And yeah, Ritual of the Night did throw me off at one point, in that you can just go to the final boss and beat him, and then it just says game over.
Yep.
And they're like, Oh, I wonder what happened to all those other people that are in the castle. And they're like, yeah, well, we did our thing, and it's game over, and that's an ending. I like games that mess with you like that a little bit. I think that was really cool.
Yeah, I
Um,
know you had messaged me after you did that. You're like, I think I beat the game, but does this really have a game
yeah,
ends?
it doesn't feel like I beat the game. So yeah, that was cool.
I don't know if you noticed, and I don't know if it's something that you want to poke at another
Sure.
point, but there are. I don't know if you noticed that there are different modes in the game, so you can
Uh
actually
huh.
play as the different characters and go through the story like a lot faster and go from like their point of view.
Oh. So I unlocked boss rush mode and something else, but it was saying that I needed a Nintendo Online account to get into that stuff, which I now have thanks to you
I was just
as
saying,
I'm part of your
only
family.
you knew someone that could have put you on the
Yeah.
family plan. Yeah, that's weird.
So
I didn't notice that on mine because I know when I fired it up, it was basically like you can play as Miriam, who I think is who the main character.
main
That's her name.
character, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and then there are two other characters you could play as, and I can't remember which one I chose, but I chose one of the other ones just to see what it was like.
Hmm.
And you get to just use his move set. You're not trying to get familiars. You're not doing any of that stuff, and you're basically just. I wouldn't say you're super
Cruising.
overpowered, but yeah, you're fairly overpowered, and you can just
Yeah,
kind of go through it, and you can see what happened. You can see their side quest as to what happened when Miriam was off doing her thing. You can
yeah.
do that, so it's really kind of
That game did a great
cool.
job, I'll say, of as much as I bitched about getting stuck at the very first boss and then kind of putting it aside, it did a great job at making you feel badass in so much as like by leveling up and getting stronger and all
Yeah,
of a sudden, you can whoop these guys that took you out before kind of thing. Any good RPG system should do that at some point, and they did a great job with that in that game, I thought.
Expedition 33, another one
Oh, yeah,
that
come on.
gives you
Yeah.
the power fantasy once you hit a certain point.
Oh, that gets ridiculous too, because you were talking about some stuff that I didn't even get into in that game. Where like, have you found this and then stacked it with that? Because then you'll do this attack 9 times in a row, and then nobody can mess with it. Yeah. So I still have a lot more post game stuff to do with that game too.
Yeah, I'm excited. We could probably do a whole episode talking about that.
33 easily. Yeah.
Yeah, but I also finished the game that you assigned me, Bastion.
Oh
I
yeah.
had said, when I was reviewing it, that I was really enjoying it, to it. So I finally played through it, got to the final boss, rolled the credits. It definitely, you can see so much of the Hades-esque aspect in it, especially
The
when you get to
influence that it
point
had
where-
on the stuff that
yes,
followed it. Yeah.
yep. But being able to see like this is the end. What do you want to do? And be able to make a choice, and
Mhm.
the two different endings you can have, which I'm not going to give any
No
spoilers away to a
spoilers.
14-year-old game. But yeah, it was really cool. I chose the ending that I thought would end the game in like the universe. It would be like,
Mhm.
okay, this is an ending. So I went, okay, I feel happy with it, and maybe sometime in the future I might do a new game plus, because again, you can power fantasy and carry all your stuff over and just kind of
Yeah.
blow through it.
I never did a plus in that game either. That would be one that I would definitely consider playing again because it's obviously been a very long time. But
Yeah,
you,
it was a
you
blast.
finished that one. Did you finish? I gave you a pretty small game to get into last week. Did you hear? Did you jump into that at all?
I did. So you assigned me McPixel 3, which I'm
Yes.
going to guess that I didn't need to play McPixel or McPixel 2 to play them. I mean, maybe it would have
I
given
never
me
have,
some.
nor
Yeah.
nor am I aware if they exist. So
I was
who
going to
knows?
say maybe they don't exist, but I'm going to guess that they do exist.
Okay.
But yeah, the first one came out in 2012. I'm not sure when
Oh, there
3
you go.
came out, but I'm
Hey,
going to
it's
guess
newer than
probably in the
Bastion.
last. Yeah. Yeah, right. McPixel 3 actually came out in 2022.
There you go.
But I got about an hour and a half into the game. I can definitely see it being my new. I've got 15 minutes to screw off. I'm going to toss
Yep.
this on and play through a couple of things.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, it's not going to call you back, really.
no.
Yeah.
So basically, the basic premise of the game is McPixel. I'm going to guess is supposed to be a funny version of MacGyver. He's stuck in all these situations where a bomb's going to blow up, or someone's going to die, or something's going to happen.
The
and
plane's about to
McPixel-
crash, what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And McPixel needs to find often very humorous ways to stop what is going to happen. The first set, I definitely remember I have played this before, but I got further than I did when I originally played it because I think it might have been one of those, hey, it's on Game Pass. I tossed it on for 5 minutes and was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
all right, I'm good.
It should be noted that this is like King's Quest 1 through 4 type graphics kind of
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
very,
going along with
very
that,
rudimentary.
but getting even more rudimentary. I'm not sure how far you ever remember playing into it, but I got through the first set of missions. I 100%ed all of them because, again, that's the type of person I am where I'm like, I can't move on until I finish all the things. So I got to like the second set of missions, which are inside of an arcade machine, which that part of the game absolutely, I'm like, okay, I really enjoy this. So the second set of missions goes, I think it starts with Atari 2600, goes to Commodore 64, goes to maybe like MS-DOS, Game Boy, Famicom, and like Windows 95. And each of the mini missions, it's kind of like WarioWare in a way, because I mean it's not as fast. I don't know if you've played any of the WarioWare games.
Oh yeah. No, it's very similar in that.
Yeah, it's not as micro because the WarioWare games are anywhere from like 3 to 10 seconds, and McPixel, I think for all of them, is 30-second scenes that you go through. But it's that very same, like very hectic, like you don't get any directions. It's
coming at you now.
You gotta figure this out. Yeah. The train is barreling off the side of a cliff, and you need to figure out, how do I stop this? I was very excited to find Steve in a couple of So Steve, I'm guessing, is McPixel's friend. I don't know enough about it.
I don't know. I just really had fun when I clicked on the hiding place and the guy pops out in every level and it just goes, Steve.
Yeah. So Steve, I found Steve hiding in a trash can, and I found Steve hiding in a parachute pack. Instead of a parachute, it was Steve. But yeah, I don't think it's a game that I would sit down like Bastion and be like, I'm gonna power through this, and this game is amazing. It was fun. I will definitely say that.
It's just stupid fun, and that's kind of why I gave it to you. Yeah, because you are still moving, and you still have a bunch of stuff to unpack sitting behind you, and I thought, let's give him something that he can do 10 to 15 minutes at a time on the couch after dinner or something. Like, it's not going to be the game you're thinking of during the workday and be like, oh, I can't wait to play that because I'm going to beat this and get through that and this neat story. No, it's completely just turn your brain off and just kind of smile a little bit, I guess. Which
I enjoyed it enough.
Yeah,
it was for the assignment you were giving me to give me a short, like, bite-sized game. It absolutely like nailed that.
Easily digestible, I would say, was my intent. Yeah.
Yes, and it was a lot of fun. And I actually, after playing through the like 5-6 little mini arcade game levels, like I'm a little more excited to see what else comes of it because I originally I played the first ones. I'm like, oh cool, they're these weird little McPixel saves the world. A plane's down, a train's going off this, a volcano's going to blow up, a house is on fire. It's like, okay, it's just going to be these. Yeah. And then, the second level was all the arcade stuff. And so my guess, since I've only been through 2 of them so far, is that other things are going to be like weird
themes.
Yeah. And so I'll definitely be poking back into it. It might be, instead of, my Balatro, your Balatro, which I saw you hop on a couple times this week.
Oh, I mean, I don't care what you assign me. There's still going to be Balatro.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah. But I feel like that'll probably, for a little while, be my, I got 5-10 minutes. Instead of playing, a few hands of Balatro, I can go ahead and play, a couple scenarios and
a screen or two. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's that kind of thing. Just catch you, give you a smile,
Yeah. So I've got nothing else to say about my stuff, and I think you've handled our stuff. So I think
we need to go into what's coming up next. Yeah.
Yeah. Next week in Backlog Buster Bros.
Accountability Buddies presents Backlog Buster Bros. There you go.
I think there's a lot of meat on this bone. I think
there it is.
So how about you go first? Because you're assigning me a show this week, I believe.
You get a show or movie this week, yes, and it is spooky season, so I'm not going to just continuously. Well, yeah, I am, because I only get to do this a few times before it's the end of October.
You do whatever you want, man.
I probably am going to do this with you. So I had a couple thoughts, including the spooky documentary that I mentioned earlier, which I think you should watch, but I'm not going to assign that. But I would really like you to, I think, watch the movie that I watched on Saturday, just because of your background and your love for all things dairy and ice cream related, as made obvious by your 3 horchata story.
Oh God, I could
So
go for so
I
much
think
more.
I'm going to give you the stuff
All
that
right.
I watched on Saturday. It was a Larry Cohen film. I don't think he's one of the Cohen brothers, but it
Yeah.
does say a Larry Cohen film on the front. And I think that, yeah, that's got to happen. There's no one really famous in it except Paul Sorvino shows up towards the end, and he's hilarious in it. For anybody that doesn't know, that's Paulie from Goodfellas.
Yep.
Mia Sorvino's dad. And there are a couple others that I want to give you that I probably might still, but I can't not assign the cookies and ice cream dessert guy the haunted killer ice cream movie.
Abe
It just has
Vigoda's
to
in
happen.
this. How did you not say Abe Vigoda's in it?
Was he? You know what? He was. He was. No, he was, because I even said something to Kim. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. That is true.
I'm not going to look anything more than that, but I was just looking at the list and
somewhat-
saw Abe
well,
Vigoda
Garrett-
hiding in there.
Garrett Morris is in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there's some pretty good...
There are. Yeah. Well, I'm not thinking in terms of 1985, am I? Yeah, Danny Aiello's in it. Yeah, okay, fair enough. There's some older Hollywood folks around.
Yeah,
The guy that plays the main character, Michael
Scott
Moriarty.
Bloom?
No, Michael Moriarty.
oh,
I
Mike
recognized
Moriarty.
him from something, but I'm damned if I... Oh! That's what it was. He's in Law and Order. Which I don't watch, but my wife does obsessively, so that's probably how he got called out.
Dun, dun.
All right, so yeah, you are assigned Killer Ice Cream, and I think there should be plenty for us to talk about. I'll be interested to hear how you feel about the guy from Law and Order, because he's definitely supposed to be a protagonist, but it's a 1985 protagonist, and he's kind of a bit of a son of a bitch at times. So
he's problematic, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it could be a little problematic. So yeah, you watch Killer Ice Cream, and I think we'll have plenty to talk about.
All right.
Which
I'm kind of excited to watch this, because I know you had told me you were watching it this weekend. All I saw was, I think, the movie poster that you showed me. I was like, okay,
that's really all you need.
interesting.
Yeah, don't ruin it with a trailer or anything like that. That'll do you a favor. But this is definitely one where, and we'll have to do this at some point. We could like riff tracks it, watch it like at the same time together and actually record during it, because there is a lot going on that is fun to make fun of, basically.
All right, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's I would say it's at least somewhat self-aware.
All right, so that means I need to give you a video game.
A video game. Yeah, I'm out.
So I'm going to give you a game kind of like what you gave me, in the sense that this is going to be more of a, I'm going to play for 10, 15 minutes and then put it down and then, come back, play 10, 15 minutes later. I mean, maybe you will love this game so much that you will blast through it, but I don't think so.
Okay.
So it's called McPixel 2. No. Your truck. I saw that on your backlog.
Say that again.
Cluster Truck.
Cluster Truck. I don't even know if I know what that is.
Yeah, well, it'll be exciting for you to play then. So.
Oh, is it I haven't played it, but I think I remember watching a video, because I probably bought it during a sale. Is it basically like a 3D endless runner, but you're hopping from tractor trailer to tractor trailer? Is that what it is? Like on the highway?
Yes. Except it's not an endless runner. There are actually there are missions that and you have to hit, and there are power-ups that you unlock to, like, okay, you can do a double jump, or you can do a super long jump, or you can do this.
Okay.
Have you played? And if not, I'm going to assign this to you. I might have to buy it for you someday and then assign it to you. I know we had talked about it. Have you played Neon White yet?
No, and I own it.
Okay, well, that's definitely going to be
coming
down the
up
line
at some point.
Yeah, because I I blasted through that game, and that was a super fun game. I'd love to see you play. Have you played? And I know we're getting off topic, but hey, that's fun. It's not really off topic because we're talking video games.
Yeah.
I can't remember when I was playing it. Did you play Mullet Mad Jack?
Yes, loved
Okay.
it, loved it,
Yes.
loved it, loved it. I want 10 more games exactly like that. I had so much fun. Just
Did you end up beating it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was yeah. Did you get the finger gun?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that was that was done in a weekend. That one grabbed me
I
big time.
went through that super fast.
Yeah. And yeah, more of that. Whatever that genre is, FPS, rogue like light RPG,
Duke
what have
Nukem
you,
parodied
time trial. I don't know. More of that. Yes, please.
I'd love to see some DLC for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cluster Truck. The reason why I asked about those is Cluster Truck seems like it has the same graphics style. I guess is really just how I'd say. Like it looks like a Cluster Truck's definitely brighter than. No, actually, Neon White's a very bright game, and Mullet Mad Jack's a very neon game.
Okay.
But it's the same
Mullet
type
Mad
of. It
Jack's
seems like
definitely 80s, turned up to 11 kind of thing.
yeah. But yeah, it's like I said, it's a not endless runner. It's a runner to get to the goal, and the first few levels are just like, oh, look at me, I'm jumping from tractor trailer to tractor trailer, and I made it to the end.
Is it like, I don't want to compare it directly, but almost like a Super Monkey Ball single player situation where it's here's the course that you have to navigate and it has an end of the level kind of thing, and figure out different fun ways to do it.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if I would have connected those two with a line in my head, but that actually is a pretty good comparison in the sense of it's like here's the start, here's the goal, have fun figuring it out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm into it. I assume this is on Steam. If it was in my library.
Yeah, according to.
Fair enough.
Yes, according to what you put in here, you put it in here for PC. So I'm gonna guess you had it on Steam.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also Xbox, probably Switch, probably PlayStation. I think I played it on Game Pass myself, so it might even still be
Does
on
it
there,
culminate at any point, like towards the end, with like an epic sword fight on top of one of the trailers, like in the Matrix 2, or no?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Never made it far enough, or you
honestly,
just don't want to tell me? No spoilers. Oh, got it.
I all I wanted to tell you is the premise of the game, and but yeah, so you get
back.
a week to play it and talk about it. Like I said, this will probably end up being like your McPixel 3. I could see it being something like, I had fun doing it, and it'll be something that supplements a game that I'm playing.
That's all it has to be, man.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee I did not spend a lot of money on Cluster Truck. I'm sure it just came across during a Steam sale, and it was like, oh, it's under $2. People say it's good. I'll get that.
I was going to say it probably... I'm pretty sure I've seen it on sale for like, $1.99 or whatever.
Yeah, so I mean, if it brings me 2 hours of entertainment in total, that's money well spent, pretty much, right?
Or if it brings you 2 hours of torture, because eventually one of us are going to suggest something to the other one of us that the person doesn't like. I mean, we do have a lot of similarities, but
yes, cilantro the game is coming. Don't worry.
All right, I think that puts us.
Yeah, I think we're overtime
or so. Yeah, and that's okay. I know you've got some stuff you got to get to, and I think we've left this in a good spot. So, as always, if you guys want to reach out to us, we are on Blue Sky. We don't have it yet. .bsky.social. You can hit us up by email. We don't have it yet at gmail.com. And I know
I made half of a website on Saturday. It's not done yet.
we don't have it yet, but Nick's I'm excited for what Nick has put together, and once we get the rest of it stood up, it'll be kind of a fun place that we're kind of hoping we can do.
Blog, interact, talk about shit that we like, whatever.
Nick and I, we've mentioned many times before, both of us come from a writing background, and we're both looking for places to be able to put our writings instead of, micro-blogging forms of 300 characters or less, and, being able to do something more long-form and hopefully interesting to us.
I often have a lot more to say on stuff that we will not have the time to get into unless we're doing like a long-form sit-down. So I would love it, actually, to transform into something where it's like, hey, you could also check out the website for my full thoughts on McPixel 3, what have you.
Spaghetti.
Yeah. Well, spaghetti's that's gonna be that's 5,000 words at least if we're just doing spaghetti. Uh,
All right.
well, that
So I appreciate everyone listening, and I
yeah,
hope you guys have a good week. And Nick, I might talk to you at some point. Who knows? Maybe we don't talk to each
maybe.
other ever again.
Till next week.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.